So I'm doing a try stream. There's 3 things going on right now. So if things look a little funny, that could be why. But if you want to check me out on YouTube or Twitch, I am over there streaming right now. And if you're on TikTok, hi. You're probably one of my more regular viewers. I've got a little chat widget window on the right side of the Twitch and the YouTube stream. So ideally, you'll be able to see everything in there. Actually, I might have to do some business. Let's see what happens when I put in a comment. My name is B. Have I got anything? Oh, the chat. The chat is not showing up over there, is it? That's frustrating. I'm going to work on that. But if anybody's got a question in the meantime, happy to answer them. But if you also just want to hang out, totally fine too. You can talk to me. While I figure out what's going on here. So maybe, yeah. So there's a, yeah, if you go to the other places, there's a little chat called Sleepy Chat. I'm trying to see if it'll combine the Twitch stuff. It says we're connected to everything but YouTube. It's frustrating. Try to reconnect again. Yeah, it says there's nothing on YouTube. That stinks. But it should have the Twitch chat. And the Twitch chat's not here. But I see you, W. Hello. I still see the chat over there. So I'll just look at Twitch chat for now. Not Twitch chat, the TikTok chat. If you got any questions, that's what I'm here for. To help out. 2 thumbs up. You can see those because they're in front of my face. Can I help with your math homework? Oh, that is a nerdy question, but that's not the kind of nerdy question I'm good with. I'm sorry. If you need, stream is a bit glitchy. Yeah, that could be. So I got to start turning down some settings because of the whole restream thing. So, yeah, this is kind of a process. It's not from the streamer. It could be. I'm doing some fun things right now. It took me a little bit to set up. You gotta believe it. I'm gonna try reloading this browser thing. Yeah, maybe if I just re-add it. Do I know stuff about AI? I do. Can you ask about social stuff? You can. You definitely can do that. My pronouns are she, they, it, if you're wondering. Do I know a lot about LGBTQ community? I know some things. I don't presume to know everything, but I do know of things. Indeed. Okay, this seems, yeah, so I have a feeling we're not live on YouTube, but that's not a big deal. Just trying to fix this. Sorry. So, yeah, I suppose this was the first question. What do parameters mean in AI? That's a rough way of saying how many variables it uses when it's calculating an answer, or just calculating an output to complete whatever you sent to it. I'm in the text box now. Whenever you try to chat with somebody, W, they block you within a day. That's frustrating. Yeah, getting left on red like that is really weird, because why? Like, why are they feeling that way about me? Why did they need to be that way? Sorry. Is this a little better? Yes. Oops. I do have a slightly transparent box on the right. That is meant to be the chat box, because I'm doing like a horizontal stream and a vertical stream right now, which is funky, right? That's why if you said it was a little glitchy, that is why it is glitchy. Maybe it's glitchy because I got a preview up here. I meant to turn that off. That might be a little better. Yeah, I think if the Twitch chat is up, I should be getting Twitch messages if people are there. No sound detected. Now it says it's not doing audio. Can you still hear me? That was weird. I don't like that just happened. Oh. Pardon me. I think it may be sending audio from, What the F's going on? Whatever. It's working now. You hear me? Good. Good. So, sorry for not following along with the chat more closely. This is quite distracting. At any rate, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's different with everybody, the whole not replying thing. My go-to, I usually assume, like, because I've got ADHD, I take forever to reply. So sometimes that's the case. Someone might, like, they might not dislike you. It's just they're really bad at replying. And so when they think about you, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to message that person. And then you'll get, like, a deluge of messages. That's just me. So if someone just straight up, like, is ignoring you, the first impression, like, if that's what they're doing, that's not great. If they don't want to talk to you, like in dating, this is a classic, like, oh, they didn't text back, or like they refused to text back, right? You used to have hope that you could get somewhere in life, but now you see your current state as destiny. So there's always time for evolution and change. Believe me. Like, I realized I was trans at 32 years old, and things have changed a lot since then, and people treat me differently. People are nice. It's good. But it wasn't easy. I had to work on myself. And that is, like, just being myself, figuring out what is in the root. What's at the core of my whole being. And the confidence helped a lot. So, yeah, there's always time. Like, I felt similarly. I'd get ignored by people that were interesting. Honestly, I wouldn't get ignored that much. Usually I'm the ignorer, which is why this question, like, I feel bad. It's a little awkward because I've been in that position. Yeah. Give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe. But, yeah, if this is a pattern, sometimes that means there's something that you can work on. Holy femboy. I'm a trans femme person. I don't really call myself a femboy. Yeah, W, I hope that helped. If you have anything else, you're free to continue asking me questions. Have I forgiven the people who hurt me in my life? Boring? So, Oh man, have you ever seen the original Super Mario Brothers movie? That whole city got covered in fungus, and it was just giving the brothers random things the whole time so that this big fungus could destroy Bowser. And like they get that fungus just drops a bomb. It was pretty silly. That's pretty much how Bowser gets messed up at the end. This fungus, the Mushroom Kingdom, is not just a metaphor. It is the kingdom of this fungus. I thought that was really silly. This is the '93 Super Mario Brothers, not the more recent movie. Nintendo's disavowed the original. It's on archive.org if you want to check it out. I hope that was entertaining, Arthur. That's what you get. Feels kind of, W says, it feels kind of whiny to talk about social stuff, but like it's a human thing to want to vent. Of course it is. Very practical to vent. Like if you don't talk about things, you might not get them straight in your own mind. That's why going to a therapist can be good. Start talking to the therapist, and it's not really about the therapist as much as you're just had an outlet to talk about things and not feel whiny necessarily, or you set aside the time to be whining. And maybe it's productive, maybe it's not, but you don't necessarily know until you start talking about it and entertaining the fact that you may be whining, but it could be good. Maze says, should I get back with my ex? I don't know. They're always your ex for a reason. Maybe not a good reason. Maybe not a reason that you agree with. But if this is something you're seriously considering, like if it's like just a physical urge, then that's something that you might want to correct. You know, I don't want to get into any more detail on that, but that's a thing that happens. So if you still miss them, you know, and if you get an emotional connection and all that, different. You miss them like in that way. That's really frustrating because if this person was your friend, ideally they could still be your friend. But breakups are messy, not easy. I don't talk to any of my exes. I haven't had an ex for a long time, but yeah, if you want to drop any more details, like I could give some further input. Overall, I'd say like don't do it. Meet some new people, because I have a feeling things will be more fruitful with a new person than with an ex, where you kind of know what's going to happen. And in this case, I guess I'd ask you if this is something that's happened before and how it went before, because that's probably the best indicator of how it's going to go this time. What's my favorite Pokemon? I like Mudkip. I'm not memeing. I do like Mudkip. Piplup's cute. Yeah, I like a lot of the water Pokemon. My background's pink because it's Kirby. This is the ending to Kirby's Dream Land. I'm just gonna take a quick look and see if this is actually streaming to YouTube, because I don't think it is. Oh, it is streaming to YouTube. Sorry, you probably just heard some doubling there. My bad. Okay, so somebody's watching here. I guess they're just not saying anything. Or YouTube person, I'm sorry. If you come to the Twitch chat, I might see you. See you there. It's hard to test this crap on the fly. Calm that tone down. What kind of tone am I doing? Well, what's the tone? What's happening? The video download was canceled. Okay, it looks like I'm live on Twitch, but it's also looking a little glitchy. So I'm not certain. If I'm not seeing you guys, y'all over there, then I'm sorry. Maybe come... Yeah. I think if there are... Yeah, I'll just keep the YouTube up. That seems practical. Do I have a social life? Yeah. I have a lot of online friends, which is pretty normal for a nerdy person like me. But I have a partner. I have close friends who don't live nearby, but I talk to them often. I'm in some Discord communities that I really like. I have a Call of Cthulhu game that I play fairly semi-regularly. That's in person. I go and I'm my transform self and everybody's cool. So that feels nice. I'm sorry that you're not having luck on that front, W. There is a little bit of effort like you get something out of it, but it's very hard to start if you haven't been going down that road already. And where to start? Very, very difficult. I know. Like, what do I even do to get started? Like making friends and doing these kinds of things. I usually think clubs are a good idea. If there's something like a video game that you play a lot, like even online groups, sometimes that's a little, but in real life, just going out in person, that's ideal. Like I used to be in a Super Smash Brothers club. I met some people through that. Did I miss any questions? Someone said, no, I don't need thanks. I'm not sure what I offered. Someone also said, have I forgiven the people who hurt me in life? Yeah, of course I have. W, you feel like you're cursed. It doesn't feel rational to get blocked or ignored by everyone I try to chat with. No, that doesn't sound great. Gosh, everybody? I mean, I haven't blocked or ignored you yet. So I'm not sure what to think. Lots of people in here get blocked and ignored immediately, believe me. So the fact that you haven't tells me that you're a nice enough person to be here and not hurl insults at me like some people do. I would say that's the low bar. Yeah, I don't know, W. Send me a DM. We can chop it up, I guess. But yeah, I wish you luck. Definitely try some stuff IRL, like clubs, or if you're still in school, that's a really good venue. Chloe says, I love my BF, but I love my friends with benefits because he's not as aggressive. Should I stick with a sure thing or try to shoot for the stars? You love your boyfriend. And you love your friend with benefits. So, I mean, if there are degrees of love in your life, that's valid. It doesn't feel great to compare people, though. I know, and you're dealing with that right now. People, there's a lot of different ways that you can swing this, and some of them mean like getting in touch with yourself, because one person might not be like what you're looking for in a certain situation, like communication wise. When you're venting, maybe I'm just guessing, maybe boyfriend's not like giving you advice that you want, or maybe trying to solve your problems for you. You said they're like a little aggressive, so I would think trying to help with the problem, like get it solved. Maybe that's something that's up. In that case, like, it's good to have someone else you can talk to. But I think honesty is really important. We're living in a time where being with multiple people is more accepted, and I'm very understanding about that. Like, I appreciate that everybody's a little different, has different needs. So it's up to you, like, in your heart, like, choosing between them seems to be like a really crappy problem to have to deal with. But if you really do feel more strongly about one of these people, then making the choice will kind of push you into it. And you can always stay, like, if there's something like I was saying with the communication stuff, then the friend with benefits, maybe you can just stay friends and, just still get what you need. You're welcome, Chloe. I hope that was helpful. I can only really guess about your situation, but I know, like, having two people that you care about and having to choose, nobody should have to do that. It's cruel on yourself to have to make the compromise and all that. Right, still nobody in the YouTube chat. Yeah, I just don't trust this widget that I got. What do I go by? My name is B. You can call me Handemonium. On some platforms, I'm known as Beatamoni, which is just a funny new name that I came up with when I transitioned. Another question. Garfield is asking, how do I hide a 150 kilogram human-shaped chicken? I don't know how you made that. Like, they don't come like that naturally. This sounds like some Good Burger kind of business. Are you letting slip some secrets right now? I won't tell McDonald's, I promise. you can be honest with me. I don't know if I can help you unless you're honest with me though. So, Chloe, you're gonna go call him? Okay. Good luck. I hope it works out. Whoever him is in this scenario, I'm not sure which, but I support you either way. Benji, you're bald. That's okay. There's a lot of people who are attracted to baldness, for one. It's a sign of maturity, coolness, strength, perhaps, confidence. Am I bald? No. I don't have as much hair as some other people have. But I've always been that way. It doesn't make me feel weird. I feel more secure about it now that I know I'm like a trans femme. Thank you, Benji. No, I've got fairly normal hair. I've got armpit hair, as you can see. Doesn't give me dysphoria or anything. Some people seem to like it. Maybe this is the answer that you were looking for. Yeah, my computer just did like a funny thing. Like, I think it just glitched up. I was just showing my armpits. My computer couldn't handle it. It said, "Whoa, we like that." Whoa. YouTube. Okay, the YouTube, everything seems to be working there. It's funny because, yeah, the app was telling me that YouTube was the thing that was broke. I don't know. Weird stuff. You like mildly muscular arms, W? I still got a decent amount of bicep here. Creatine will help save your muscles if you're, like, taking estrogen. At least it did in my case. They did not melt away as they do for so many people so quickly. But I also have a pretty good exercise routine already. Anybody got more questions? I would love to answer them and give some advice. Listening to some music, if you can hear it, Legitimate World. This playlist I've got just a mix of some of my favorites, some stuff that I listen to with my partner a lot, like Montaigne. I listen to Hot Dad a lot. Am I gonna close the stream soon? Not quite yet. I hope I didn't sound like I was giving a preamble that I was about to go away, especially after the whole thing about people ignoring you. I'd feel really bad about bouncing right now. Wait, are you gonna leave? No, I'm not going to leave, W. Promise. In lieu of any questions, I've been playing some video games today. Been playing some Forza Horizon with my friends. That's a really goofy game when you're all competing for last place. Telling yourself, hey, there's another lap. We can do it. Really funny game. I'm trying to unlock the Warthog, which is a very fun car to drive. Especially in like the dirt areas, and it'll fishtail like a Warthog does in Halo. Forza is made by Xbox, so the Halo connection. That's the basis for it. So, if you go to my other, I hear voices. That's my partner coming home. Okay. Yeah. I was talking about Forza and the Halo connection. I really hope they'd put a ghost in that game. That'd be really fun. But I don't think they will, because it's got like boosters and would be a little bit difficult to implement. But when the certain kind of purple car comes by, then it kind of looks like a ghost. Makes me think about the ghost. So I'd really like for that to happen. Anybody have questions? This is what I am here to answer. I'm going to stand up real quick and crack the door because my partner likes to come in and listen to the music. I'm not going to gatekeep that just because I'm streaming. So here's the, yeah. I've returned. Who's Jock the Disney bully? I don't know, cryptids. I've never heard of this Jock. Thank you for liking the live. I've got these little doobly-doos down here. You can't like click them, but just to let you know, I am Pandemonium Flows in all those places. It's a great feeling to do that while watching a live stream. To do that thing. That doesn't bother me that you're doing that. Like, yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, man. That's like... What do I say? Like, okay, I'm glad you're relaxed. Glad you're relaxed top to bottom. Do I like Tetsuo the Iron Man? This I have not heard of. So I'm going to quickly look it up. This is... Whoa, this sounds very creepy. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of horror, but I do see that it's on Internet Archive. So thank you. I will bookmark that. So maybe I will F with it. I like recommendations. Really appreciate those. I go back and look at these streams, and if there's a recommendation, I make sure I look it up. Because as a critic, that's how I hear about a lot of things. I like to hear what other people like so that I can take a look at it and then maybe give them my 2 cents. Because I like relative analysis of things. So I can come, someone else can come into the mix, and we can kind of, not butt heads, but share ideas and learn a bit more. Twin Peaks. Yes. I've watched the original series. I've watched Fire Walk with Me. I've watched like the first couple episodes of The Return. I haven't seen all of that. But yeah, that show was doing some really great things for the time. Weird feelings. It's very weird, like, yeah, the earnestness of David Lynch is very cool. Rest in peace. He doesn't have to think about that Dune movie he made anymore. I've heard interesting things about that Dune movie from David Lynch. I haven't seen it myself. I made some guesses, and my friends told me, oh yeah, it's like that. Oh yeah. So, yeah, I'd like to see it eventually. Anybody's got any questions? Pew, pew, pew. You are welcome to ask. Does my partner ever hug me? Of course she does. W, you're giving me some mixed signals a little bit. Just saying. If you're having a rough time. Do I have a mommy voice? I do. I talk to my cat with this all the time. I talk to my little kitty Stella with my mommy voice. I hope you're doing good, everybody. I love doing these live streams. Thanks for coming on when I'm streaming today. It feels a little bit put on. I sound like my mom. Oh, W. I didn't mean to. It is comforting, yes. Especially by someone who cares unconditionally and they just want to comfort you and not judge you. Yes, it is a nice feeling. Ro asked about something that I know, about pinball. I am good with pinball. I am that kind of nerd. Thank you. They say, in a pinball game, how do I hit a spot that I have to hit exactly? Struggling in a game I got. So, one thing that it's very good to get used to is holding the ball with the flipper. So basically, if you know that it's going to slow down to the point where you can hold it, you can keep it still. Like, here's the crook, like the flipper, and the ball just kind of sits here in the corner. So then you can aim your shot a bit better, or you can just kind of sit to yourself and be like, well, how do I get this? Otherwise, learn to tilt. If you tilt in real life, you'll feel like a criminal, but in a video game, very, very useful. Not that you shouldn't tilt in real life. Pinball machines are meant to be tilted, or they wouldn't have the tilt sensor. Well, that's not exactly true, but if you don't tilt when you're playing pinball, you're gonna be disappointed by your performance. That's what I'll say. W says, do you play games a lot? I kind of stopped playing games. They seem pointless nowadays. I had a friend who said that they were retiring from video games recently. It was kind of my fault, to be honest. Sometimes they can feel pointless. For instance, if you're like, you've got a child coming, but they are really great, really, really great time fillers. If you've like got to sit and wait for a while, like on a plane, or you got a baby in your lap, like a newborn, and you just kind of got to sit, or they will get sad. Or if you got to look after somebody who's like not feeling well and they do a lot of sleeping, video games can be lifesavers. If you go to a job with a lot of downtime, like maybe your job is making sure that something stays on, and when it turns off, you're the only one who knows how to turn it back on, but otherwise there's a lot of downtime. Games are great for that, for filling the time and feeling something. They fill up the holes in my head. So they also, I believe strongly in the power of video games as a literature, something you can analyze and get some good insight out of. I have some favorite games which go down that road. Dark Souls, anything from Software is really well integrated. The story and the gameplay that you're doing. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is a really nice little literary experience, as well as anything else from that studio, like It Takes Two, A Way Out. Those are all really really well acclaimed, and they have a nice story to them. Not every game is worth playing that way, and this is why a lot of people aren't literate in games, because they don't think it's worth it. But you just got to find the right stuff. Yeah, they're not pointless. If they feel pointless, you might be playing the wrong game. It's as simple as that, really. Or you might want to just like think about how you're playing games. You might need to do some internal work. Doesn't mean that you should. I'm just saying they're not pointless. Rose says, I did try that, being the holding the flipper for the pinball. Plus aiming power up, but thanks either way. Okay. I hope you're not playing Mario Pinball Land. That game is really... If you're playing that, I say turn the game off. Really, yeah. That game is that's not a good pinball game. W says, do I have a community? Do I see anyone as my own people? Yeah. I'm in like a Discord for a musician that I like. I moderate, and I like everybody there. And I kind of fit in. Like my sense of humor is kind of, I get like non sequiturs and absurd stuff, and everybody in there is kind of like that. So we all laugh at the same kind of things, and and you end up like sharing things, personal things, and just shooting the crap. And usually people, like, if they share your sense of humor, sometimes that means you're pretty like-minded. Not always, but when I'm finding community is, if people can make me laugh and I can make them laugh in turn, that is a really great sign that I'm in the right place, because nobody's like judging me for the things that I'm saying, for instance. Or if they are, they're being cool about it because they're laughing at me, not with me. Or they're laughing with me, not at me. People laughing at me makes me sad. Not so much these days. Used to. More questions. Ro, it's a game called Pinball Spire. I have heard of this. I'm writing this down because I meant to look at that. And as I said, I earnestly take recommendations. So this is me writing down Pinball Spire. Thank you. Oh, my partner blocked somebody. I made her a moderator. That's cute. I already blocked that person. I don't know how that message showed up again. That's weird. They might have made another account with the same name. This did just come back, which is funny. I blocked, yeah. Oh, thank you, Kid Daddy. I like these hair clips. This hair clip. A scratch in my nose. Kid Addy says, do I like survival horror games? I used to find them boring, but that's because I wouldn't like get scared by them. But now I'm like more jumpy as I've gotten older. I should really stream one sometime. I played some of the Resident Evils, but I haven't played the recent ones. Yeah, I like the idea of them, but I don't play so many of them because you're gonna get scared. It's not so attractive to me. I will get scared, but I feel like I need to play more of them. But anyway, yeah, I played like the classic Resident Evil stuff. Still nothing in these other chats. That's okay. TikTok's where I've had viewers, and yeah, that's fine. Lots of faces in here. Kid Addy, nice. I like playing retro horror games because they don't scare me. They make me feel chill. Yeah, retro horror games are funny. Like, they don't scare me at all. It's just like a funny convention to set a game around. There's one in the game UFO 50, which is like a retro-inspired newer game with 50 games from a non-existent company, but a company kind of like Nintendo or whatever. And one of them is a survival horror point and click. That's a really neat game. UFO 50 in general is really neat, but I recommend that if you like old school survival horror kind of stuff. That game in UFO 50 is neat. Letting go of things is a step to becoming an adult. It can be. Yeah. But as you get older, you may find yourself digging that stuff back up because you weren't ready to throw it away when you did. That's personal experience. Sometimes it's good to let go of things, though. I'm just kind of like a preservationist that way. I worry if I lose things, I will lose part of myself. Not super rational, but it is who I am. I want to preserve these things and not lose them. You're welcome, Kid Addy. What's my opinion on the infamous E.T. Atari game? So I read, what is his name? The person who made that game, Howard Scott Warshaw. So I read his autobiography, and boy, I understand why that game's not very good. But ultimately, you know who said, thumbs up, good stuff? It was Steven Spielberg himself. So if you think E.T. for the Atari is bad, you can blame Steven Spielberg personally, because he approved the very short development schedule for E.T., which was only like a month. And Howard Scott Warshaw talks about in the book like stuff that he could have done to make the game better if he had more time, but he didn't. It was literally the best job that he could make in that short amount of time, which was like a month. Like, that's a ridiculous amount of time to make a game. Like, even if you do like a game jam now and you've got like 24 hours with all the tools available now, you'd still have a hard time making like a fully realized E.T. that people say this is fine. Nice facts. Yeah, I had a year or two span where I was reading just a ton of books like that. But Howard Scott Warshaw's book is really good. He talks about the old days of Atari, about how his friend who made the Atari port of Pac-Man used to run on the walls. Like, there was a corridor where he could get his legs both, like his feet, both on the sides of the wall in the corridor, and just like he was walking. That's what they did at Atari. Also, they were super all the time. It just sounded like a very fun place, and the executives were just like, the creatives, they'll, as long as they make those video games and we can sell them, let them do it. How's their wipe it? They're probably smoking cigars, right? Like, there's just this very smoke-filled room. And of course, they were all out on the West Coast at the time, so it was very progressive. It probably was a fun place to work, as long as you weren't making E.T. with a month-long deadline. All right, let's see some more questions. I'm from Israel, and I love this live. Thank you. Tom says, hi, I'm low-key autistic. Do I want to learn some German words? Yeah. Ich kenne not much Deutsch. Eine, eine, yeah, I don't remember very much. I took a year of it in high school. Thank you, Kid Addy. I think I'm funny. This person says, how can I achieve what the painter couldn't? Who is the painter? I'd love some more context. Rose says, opinion on Sinners. There were a lot of small moments and callbacks that I thought were really neat. I haven't seen Sinners, but I've heard really great things. And I'm pretty sure that's a Michael B. Jordan movie. Good. Yeah, I'll check that out. If it's got a Michael B. Jordan's in it, like, that's solid. Yeah, very nice place to work if you weren't working on ET. That Pac-Man port that his friend made too, that didn't sound fun to make either. In the last video I said treatment. If it's okay, can I say what it was? My hormone replacement therapy? I take estrogen injections. If that's what you're talking about. You're from Germany, Tom? Cool. Hello, V Gates. That I know. V Gates has Ihnen. Maybe that's what you need to hear from me. I don't know. I don't know when to use the formal one. I think Schul is goodbye. I think. Mert says, I can't feel true sympathy for anybody. What's my nerdy take on that? I've felt like that at times in my life. It's tough to admit, so I appreciate you saying it here. Thank you, Kid Daddy. Have a good one. Yeah, sometimes it's a skill that you have to develop. Stepping into somebody else's shoes and thinking through it. Like, what would you do in that situation? And if they make different choices, like, that's new input that you got to square if you want to learn how other people are. Yeah, it's something that comes naturally for me, at least, usually. But if I'm not feeling sympathy for other people, sometimes that means, like, I gotta work on myself a bit. Like, I'm having a rough time if I have no, like, if there's no way that I can get past that liminal space between you and I to feel how you're feeling. Like, I've got some autistic traits. If you're autistic, it's even harder, because you might have a tough time reading emotions, figuring out how people are feeling just by reading their face. You've got to read into things, and it gets really difficult, and you get overwhelmed, and and then you hide. Ask me how I know that. But yeah, you got to put yourself in other people's shoes. Watch a movie about that kind of person. Movies and stuff are powerful that way for making us feel empathy, even if it's misplaced, even if we shouldn't feel like that. Daniel, it's better to speak. You're welcome, Mert. What is my hair routine? I wash it and condition it every other day. I comb it in the shower every day. Then after I get out of the shower, I wrap it up in a towel. I don't like rough dry it by rubbing the towel. It's wrapped up in like a towel. So once it's dried up a bit, I put a little bit of product in it and I comb it yet again. I do this every day, adding a little bit of product in the comb after the shower. And then I do a little scrunchy thing where I do something like this. You gather it and press it up against your scalp. If you look up the curly girl method, that's very, very much similar to what I'm talking about. But yeah, thank you for the compliment. I really like my hair. Can I do a backflip? No. I'm like a long and lanky person, so like it just would take me a lot of force to get my like body to do that. Maybe I'm wrong and I just need practice, but I'm not optimistic. What kind of product? It's a 10, like curly formula. That's all I really use. Okay. Shikari asks, says, sorry if I bother you with so many questions, because in my culture there aren't many non-binary people around. I get that. So I take estrogen valerate injections. I take enough to suppress my testosterone. And this is all from a doctor. Like, my doctor prescribes this, and I get blood checks every couple months to make sure that my levels are fine. So my testosterone is pretty low. It's very comparable to that of a cis woman. Then I take another pill too. I take progesterone. But if you want to know the effects of the treatment, that's all very much online. You can search for that and learn about that. So if you have more specific questions, I can answer those. But that's my treatment plan. Random question, but are you listening to my playlist? No, I like Jimmy Eat World. I just like Jimmy Eat World, honey. Any more questions? If anybody's wants some advice. Maybe I should look at the YouTube and the Twitch real quick, make sure that stuff's working. Yeah, if anybody's gone to those other spots, and if it looks good, if you could say that, that'd be cool. Someone says, do I know how to fix stuff? Yeah, I fixed a thing or two. I'm good at fixing nerdy stuff. Fix your computer, fix your video game console, fix your dishwasher, maybe. Fix your video game controller. Problem with your guitar. Okay, I don't know as much about guitars, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I can help you with that one. That might be beyond me. Whoa. Does it say that I'm live? It does still say that I'm live. Does it say? Yeah, if anybody's chatted, I don't think anybody sent any messages in here. That's okay. Sorry. Is that an emo classic in the background? I'm listening to some Jimmy Eat World. Yeah, sorry I couldn't help with the guitar thing. Yeah, I didn't exactly fix my car recently, but I pulled the bumper off. Totally my fault. And I was able to get the bumper back on to the point where I can still drive it around town. So that felt pretty good. Didn't have to take it to the body shop. When I took it into the typical place where I take my car for repairs and stuff, they said, oh no, we don't do that. So yeah, my car looks a little janky, but it's looked a little janky for a while, and will continue to look a little janky, but it drives, so I'm not mad. Nobody's gonna take it from me, at least. Any questions? Why don't I ask questions? I like video game recommendations. Someone was asking me about survival horror games. If there's a survival horror game you recommend that you'd like to see me maybe play on stream, that would be helpful. Thank you, Lacey. I was just giving my hair routine earlier. I'll post a clip about it if you didn't catch that somewhere. I've got TikTok and YouTube and Twitch, and they're all the same. Thank you for following, Icy. DBH is my best story game. I'm not sure what DBH is. Or to be honest, maybe. I'll check my YouTube. Thank you. I'm looking at it right now. Looks empty, ghost town. Oh, I see. I scheduled things on YouTube. That's weird. I don't quite understand what happened there. However, maybe I understand something that you need advice with. Sorry, I did pick up a fidget. It's pretty cool. Unfolds and then you squish it. That's flat again. What else I got here? This is whipped avocado butter. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be hand cream though. Yeah, it's got fragrance in it. Detroit Become Human. Okay. I've seen a little bit of that. Not a huge amount. I know the studio that came from is a little controversial these days because the head of the studio was a big butthead, and I think they abused some labor laws as well as abusing some people. I've seen a little bit of gameplay of it. Yeah, maybe I can give it another look. I like the idea of like the androids having to make peace with the humans or coexist at least. And the idea of a police officer who's a robot is yeah. I know RoboCop didn't work out that well. I haven't seen RoboCop, I just know Rocobob's a weird thing. Icy, I love playing old trash, low quality video games. What kind of game you thinking about? What you consider low quality now might have been the darling of the past. I'll never get the same ending to Detroit because it probably has 88 endings. Interesting. That could be tough to pull off and still be satisfying. So it's cool that you like it. Any other questions, or do I have more questions for you? Your internet's the worst ever. You can't watch my live peacefully. I'm sorry. I hope your internet improves. If you have a lot of devices connected that are using 5G, it might be worth like unhooking one of those maybe. Maybe you're having a little bit of like channel collision going on if you're on Wi-Fi. I know, at least with the router that I had, it had like there's a physically limiting amount of things that can have access to a 5 gigahertz signal, but anyway, yeah. It could be your internet setup. Giving random people advice about their internet unsolicited. This is what my life's come to. I really like helping people with that kind of stuff, though. I don't mind. If you want to give me more details about your internet. Do I have matching hair clips for every outfit, or is this my favorite? It matches my outfit? That's kind of you to say. I didn't really consider that. I have like 4 hair clips that are like this of different colors. Which my lovely partner got for me. Anybody has more questions? Or I can just keep talking about my day. I can keep playing with this fidget. I'm listening to I Love Websites by Hot Dad, if you're wondering what I'm listening to. This is from his album called Internet, I think. Something like that. But yeah, it's about how he loves websites. I too love websites. No, honey, that's not your playlist anymore. I know how you feel about Hot Dad. Got this fidget. Very clicky clacky. Moves around in a satisfying way. If anybody's got questions, you know. Seems like things are slowing down a bit though. So we may be coming to the natural conclusion of the stream, which is fine. If you check out my YouTube channel, which is below, well, there's the implication is that if you go to Handemonium Flows on YouTube, you will find my YouTube channel. You can find me talking about many video games I have, mystery Wii and DS games from the storage unit. That one's got a surprise about it too, which I think is funny. You might find disappointing, but I find it very funny. Games I own but shouldn't. My janky gaming hardware. I've watched some old Nintendo Directs. I unveil my physical PS4 games. Lots of if you like the sound of my voice, then you'll probably enjoy stuff like that, like those videos that I've got, because they're a little bit longer. I'm just talking for a while. Shikari, I'm not sure how to say it. Well, can I explain the spectrum gender? Because I think they say it replaces. Do I think there's... So, not everybody is like... There aren't a lot of people who fall between the spectrum. Like, I'm kind of a minority in that. Most people do feel one way or the other. So, people who feel like they're binary gender, like, not cis people, but like they... Inactivity detected in my live. Sometimes TikTok does this thing where they're like, are you there? I've been talking at my screen for like an hour now. Like, what do you think? Sorry, I just had to fit the puzzle piece in real quick. Yeah, so the gender spectrum, like that's something that I feel strongly about. People who don't identify like as someone who's on that gender spectrum, I don't really begrudge them that. But as a non-binary person, realizing that I'm more in the middle has been really great. So me personally, like a lot of trans people feel dysphoric when they don't match the gender that they feel inside. Me, I get some of that, but not about everything. And I still like some of my masculine traits. Is it a spectrum or not? I mean, it is a spectrum. It's just there aren't as many people like who are in the middle. So that's why we get the common complication where people don't understand that how someone could be like trans or intersex. They say, aren't you one or the other? Like most people are, yeah, but not everybody is. So that's why it is a spectrum. I'm not like a gender abolitionist so much. A lot of people, like their gender brings them comfort when they figure out like they were identifying as one that doesn't match what's inside. Me personally, like, yeah, so I like the way my presentation is. I really enjoy. I've been more feminine recently, and I've been putting on a lot of makeup and stuff. What's non-binary? I'm in the middle of boy and girl. And that makes me happy to express myself that way. I feel better about myself than I ever have. Even though, yeah, life's not perfect. But you guess that's cool, Vector? You don't have to be jazzed about it. You just have to accept it. Have people made fun of me? Of course they have. You know that if you're asking. Yeah. At any rate, yeah, Vector, I mean, if you have any more questions about it. Can I have the mic if I don't, you have the mic if I don't mind. I've had some incidents with people coming on stream recently, and also I didn't really think about how that would work with like this multi-stream setup, so I don't know if you'll come through to the other streams, but I will try to figure that out. If you want to come back, like that would, if you come back, then I would consider that earnest, like you're not trying to troll me or anything coming up here, like yeah, 2 people have done so far. User, how to pass your exams. This is your warning. start studying now. Like, I think it's definitely finals time. If you haven't been studying, it's time to start. Time to start studying. No, but for real, make sure you take breaks. Having a snack or something to sip on can be really helpful. Giving yourself like timed breaks is very good too. Like every 10 minutes you take a 3-minute break or so. If you look up the Pomodoro timer, that's a very helpful way to set a timer and then have a strict like 3 minutes and then set another timer, and then sometimes you get a little bit more time. Yeah, sorry, I recognize you. I know you're not trolling me, and I know you DM'd me. I'm just being careful. That's all. So, yeah, I hope you pass your exams. I'm not sure what subject it is. If there's like a final assignment or something, that's pretty scary. Like how to pass the final assignment. I hope that's not what you're dealing with, because that would be something I would have started maybe a little sooner. But the best time to start is now. So I wish you luck. You look at the paper and accept defeat. No, you cannot accept defeat before you've even submitted it. You have time to improve it. If you feel defeated, like, then there's something you can do. Maybe it seems like biting off a huge chunk of it, but like I said, if you've got time, plan that time out so that you don't go nuts just focusing on this like single-mindedly until it's due or until you take the test. There is a better way than Pomodoro. I'd be very interested. Someone who's got ADHD, like I've heard about most of the usual strategies. 10-minute stare at a fixed point and be focused on that point. That sounds kind of like a meditative exercise, which can be good. Sometimes that like zones me out a lot. Oh, somebody showed up. Oh, it's an advertisement. Okay, well, at least I know the Twitch chat's working now. Yeah, sorry. You can't see that on the TikTok. You can see it a tiny bit on the right side. You will probably do 2 hours of active focusing, like if I do that strategy. If that works for you, I'm really glad, but that's definitely not something that works for most people, unless they really, really have a dedicated meditation practice. But if that works for you, awesome. I'm glad. Do I use products in my hair? Your partner has super similar hair. Also, please explain what I'm doing. Yes. I use something called It's a 10, like curly formula. I put it in my hair after I shower and after I've put it up in a towel and like had it dry up in the towel and then taken it out. And then I comb it through and then I scrunch it. What I do is a lot like the curly girl method, if you look that up. Definitely recommend that. What are my pronouns? You can check out my bio. It says she, they, and it are good. He makes me sad. It's okay sometimes, but the way that I express myself is very feminine. So if someone says he, it makes me feel like I've done something wrong. Or someone really, really likes my voice and aren't paying attention to the rest of me, which also can be okay. But yeah. I feel like I should bring the bottle up to me since people keep asking. Yeah, maybe. Hi, Lucy. You should be seeing the chat there, right? That was kind of my idea. I like to leave some room for the chat. If it's not working that way, I apologize. I know it's working that way, but yeah. Opinions on cosplay? It's fun. I haven't done so much of it, but if you think I should cosplay something, like maybe that's why you're asking, that'd be cool. Please, can you talk? So I did explain that I can't really be sure that it will work. I've got to figure out how that would work, like having a guest up on somebody requested up to join. Oh, you didn't have to do that, honey. Someone brought up the bottle, if you're still watching. It's a 10 Coily Miracle Leave-In product. This is what I use. You're biased about the cosplay. Yeah. No, I've made costumes and stuff. I enjoy it. I was Barnacle Boy one Halloween. That worked out really well. Yeah, Score, give me some like time because I don't know exactly what you're gonna ask, and I either. I want to. I'd kind of like to know before you came up, honestly. Heard a controller, not a controller. Sorry, I've been fidgeting. That's not a game. That's funny though. That's really funny. Um, Ishi, if you got a question, I usually only let like followers up, but I've also like I'm trying a new streaming setup, and so I don't know, like the people on Twitch and YouTube probably won't hear you, so I don't really want to do that today. But if you follow me and you see me again another day, we can try to do that. Just wondering about a game you've been addicted to. If you say the game in here, then I can tell you if I know about it. Thank you, Cosmic Collective. Yeah, I'm doing well. Do I watch anime, and if so, top 3? I like One Piece a lot right now. I watched most of Full Metal Alchemist. I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was smaller. I don't think there's really anything else. Baki the Grappler is funny. I like the way that the way those men fight is really weird, with their secret moves and techniques. The power scaling is good. Yeah, Ishi, yeah, that doesn't sound like a game that I can talk about on a TikTok live. So I think I made the right choice in not just letting you up blindly. Yes, I know an anime I should watch. I'm gonna watch Witch Hat Atelier sometime soon. You know, I'm gonna do something I might regret and type in the name of that game. That does not show up very quickly. Is this a Project Zomboid mod? Is that what you're talking about? Am I wearing eyeliner? Yes. What's my favorite game? I like, I used to like Super Smash Brothers quite a lot. As far as like games that I look at critically and I really like. I played Death Stranding 2. That and Death Stranding 1 are really good. The Metal Gear Solid series are fun. That, like, as a critic, I definitely recommend those. They'll give you something to think about. And they're very meta with the way that they approach, like, telling a story in a video game. I like The Outer Wilds, really great. Exploration game. Tunic, very good, like, Zelda-inspired game that also has some cool meta stuff going on. And, like, some non-linear exploration where you're learning stuff and figuring things out. Blueprints is very good. I played that a little bit more recently as far as, like, puzzle games. You're exploring this mansion that you've inherited from your uncle, I think, and like there's a lot of mysteries in there, and he didn't even understand them all. Maybe he did, but which Metal Gear? I played all of them except like Portable Ops. I haven't played Peace Walker. 5's probably my least favorite of them. Otherwise, I'd say like Metal Gear Solid 1's good. 2 is like I think 2 is my favorite. 3's fine. 3's like the really critically acclaimed one, but I don't know. It's kind of a different thing. There's less of the meta video gamey stuff that I really get into. Metal Gear Solid 4 is awesome, but you really want to play the first 3 before you play that, so I don't recommend it right away. Or at least like the first 2. Well, yeah, ideally you'd play all of them. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 just didn't do it for me as much. It felt unfinished. And it is. Like, that's things happened with Hideo Kojima to where he couldn't do things the way that he probably planned. Yeah, you played the fifth one. Understandable. I know most people played the fifth one. So that's why I'm like, I have some reservations about that. I hate to say, like, oh, I didn't really care for the fifth one, because that is a fun one. The playing of it, the way that it plays, it's certainly the best playing Metal Gear game. It's just not, it's not the best one. It didn't enrich my life in the same way that playing Metal Gear Solid 2 and hearing about the nano machines and like the memes, Hideo Kojima talking about memes back in the 90s, like before everybody was talking about memes, and just like, oh, are you doing that, or just because like we programmed you to do that, like you gamer, like I don't want to get too into it. It's just the revelations at the end of that game are ridiculous. What about Uncharted or Red Dead Redemption? Yeah, I played the first Uncharted, some of the second one, and Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, I played both of those. Good stuff. It's a very broad appeal on those, but Red Dead 2, really, really good. I like some of the choices that they made. Like you have to hold down the button and work for it a little bit if you want to pull out your 6-shooter. It's cool not having violence be the default action for Arthur. It shows how his character is different from someone like in a Grand Theft Auto game, like Nico Bellic in Grand Theft Auto 4, who says like, I don't want to be a criminal anymore, and then comes to New York from Russia and starts doing criminal things immediately. And that's the only thing you can do as a player, because those are the actions that you have easy access to, like the criminal stuff. So as a player, you're doing criminal stuff. He's like, I don't want to be like this anymore, but it's all he can do. If you try to play that game just like a pedestrian, you're not going to have a fun time. Have I played The Last of Us? Yeah. Yeah, I played both of those. Also does some interesting, not super meta stuff, but just the ending of that first one was very controversial when it came out. People had quite a lot of thoughts about it, so I think it was good for provoking conversation. The second one is fine. It was fun to play. It was devastating in some other ways, but it could have been a little bit better, maybe. Yeah, that actually, yeah, that did some things that I really appreciate, like gameplay things with the guitar. That had a moment that really moved me and made me feel like something. Yeah, the second one, their scale's bigger. They do more stuff, and it's cool. It's not just Joel the whole time. I like that it mixes things up some more. The DLC for the first game is also good. If you just want something smaller to look at, if you were like, not sure about Last of Us, the first one, you can kind of revisit it and it's fresher. My thoughts on the political ramifications of Angry Birds. I think that Angry Birds has probably had more ramifications for just like wasting the time of politicians than it's actually had like as an entity, like a product being talked about like in the markets and influencing things that way. I think people, like politicians, have probably just wasted time on it that they should have been spending like working for their constituents. Based. Okay, thanks. Alright, well, with that, I think I'm going to bounce. This has been nice, though. Thank you for everybody if you followed. It's really nice. Thank you. Somebody sent Cosmic Collective, thanks for sending some thingamajiggies. Shikari, you hate how it ended up, but it was the best message in a game about violence and vengeance. It's, yeah, I have feelings about that. Conflicted feelings. I'm not a very violent person, but video games are interesting because they put you in the position of a violent person. I don't think video games make you violent. For the record, I think that, I don't think video games make you violent, but the way that video games can discuss violence is very helpful. You might feel like James Bond doing it nice and smooth, but if you were in real life, I thought, that Goomba might have been a cool guy to talk to at a party and have a beer with. Oh no. I like that kind of analysis. Some people think it's corny, but if we're not thinking about games, like what are we even thinking about? Like there's implications and things. listening to the Game Zone right now. We are going to the Game Zone. Another song by Hot Dad that I enjoy. Getting beer with the Goombas sounds sick. You should see some of those Goombas in the original Super Mario Brothers movie. You could have a beer with one of those guys. I don't think they'd handle it very well, though. Yeah, definitely with like a Koopa, though. But yeah, Goomba probably. Everybody's stepping on me. I can't handle it. Everybody in this bar, people's just spilling beers on them. Maybe that wouldn't be great. Like you'd be up on the stool the whole time. Going out on the dance floor would be problematic because like people are just gonna step on you, and then they get some points for it. Add insult to injury. They're incentivized to step on you with their dancing feet. Where am I from? I'm from a meme place. If you know memes, you can figure out where I live. Anyway, I'm going to head out now, but thank you very much for tuning in. If you're on Twitch or YouTube, thank you. I'm going to work more on my presence there. Just hoping people kind of find me there, and I'm going to be posting shorts and stuff. And if you have any questions, you can always DM me, but ideally you'd save them for the next time I'm streaming, which will give me something to do while I'm sitting here in front of you. But yeah, feel free to DM me if there's something like you don't feel comfortable asking me here. At any rate, thank you. Bye.